What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all having a great and blessed day. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I bought my first ever house at the age of 18 years old. And this wasn't a house that I sleep in. It was a house that I bought to flip to make money in. I'm going to share with you how I bought it with cash, not with my money, and how you can do exactly that yourself in this video coming right up. So guys, if you get any value from this video, hit the free like button. I'd appreciate it. And let's get started. Alright, so here's the backstory on how I got into real estate. At the age of 12 years old, I began flipping and buying this electronics right here. iPhones, iPads, Androids, what is it, Zune HD, whatever it is I can literally flip in the electronic industry, I would, specifically when it came to phones. And from 12 years old to 15 years old, that's what I did. As time started to progress, I'm like, okay, I'm 15 years old now, I'm about to buy my first car, and what am I gonna do next? So I had no clue that I was gonna get into flipping cars. My first car that I bought was a beautiful 2005 Infiniti G35 Coupe. I bought it for $6,800 cash. All the money that I had and that I made from flipping electronics. I bought it, then something just made me itch and said listed on the market for $10,000. I ended up listing it as I was driving it and enjoying it. Maybe a week or 2 weeks later, around those lines, I ended up flipping it and selling it. I believe I profited $3,000 plus or minus dollars. Boom. A bulb exploded in my head of an opportunity to make money flipping cars. Then from there, at 15 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old, I was turning and flipping and flipping and flipping. Literally, my parents' house where I lived looked like a car dealership. I'd have 4, 5, 6, 7 cars. My brothers hated me. There was no parking spaces. It was hilarious. And I'm just turning and flipping these cars, but I got bored. I was like, it's so annoying. Every time I go buy a car, I have to take someone with me, because if I buy it, I have to drive it back and someone has to drive their car back. Okay, every time I gotta fix it and take it to the mechanic shop, I gotta drop it off, then I gotta get a ride back. This was pre-Uber. There wasn't really Uber back then, not that I remember of at least. This was years and years ago. And anyways, I got bored of that business, and at 17 years old, I started to ask myself, it makes good money, but what's something that stays in one spot that I know everybody has to go to and it can't move? And then boom, another bulb exploded in my head. I was like, a house. What if I got into flipping houses? So I was 17 years old and I was like, I'm gonna start flipping houses. But I knew I had to be 18 to sign contracts and so forth. So I was like, I'm gonna keep flipping cars until I turn 18. But what I did differently, and I always preach this to all of you who are watching my channel, who want to learn how to get into real estate or do really anything in life from business, money, and real estate. Don't just wait. I started studying real estate at 17 years old, learning real estate, talking to people, asking people, questioning people, watching YouTube videos. I knew I wanted to get into it, so I didn't just wait until I was 18 and then just stayed lazy for the whole year of 17. I started learning it because before I got into it, I wanted to understand what I'm getting into and how I'm going to start moving it quick. So anyways, I turned 18 years old and then I'm like, okay, so I don't want to flip cars anymore. I want to get into real estate. I know I can't get approved from a bank. I'm 18 years old. I got no credit. I got no employment history. I had no job. Literally all I did was flip my entire life. So I know I can't get a loan. So then I'm like, okay, what if I get somebody to invest in the home? What if I raise the money? What if I have somebody who can do it? So I was like, okay, how am I going to get that? How are people going to trust me? I have no experience. How am I going to get someone to give me hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a house that I've never done it before? Right? All these scary things I was asking myself, and I was like, who cares? Just shoot your shot and see. So I spoke to family. I spoke to friends. I spoke to friends as parents. I spoke to friends as parents as friends, and I saw maybe they're investors. I spoke to people who are high profile and have money. This person connected me to that person, to this person connected me to that person. It's literally a huge circle. And eventually, luckily, I found an investor. Now, how I found this investor was pretty unique. I didn't just go in there saying, I want $100,000 from you. I went in there with a plan. I knew I wanted to go buy houses from the auctions. I knew that you have to buy them cash. I knew that I'm going to get them 60, 70 cents on the dollar. I knew that the risk of losing money wasn't too high. And I also knew that I personally had about $20,000 saved up from flipping cars, flipping electronics. And I knew that I can take this money, this $20,000 that I have, and put it in front of the investor and say, this is my collateral in case I lose money on the first flip. You have this as a cushion. No matter what we lose, typically if you're buying 60, 70 cents on the dollar, you can at least break even. So losing even 5 grand or 10 grand after that, you must have really made a mistake. I gave him 20 grand and I was like, this is my collateral. And that was what allowed me to secure that investor, give confidence because I put my money where my mouth was. Plus, I presented the properties. I presented knowledge. Even though I never done it, I had the right guidance to be able to present it. Now, to make this clear, not my brother, sister, parents, grandparents, nobody in my circle was in real estate. In fact, I stumbled across somebody in my university who's about 35 years old, and he doesn't go to the college or university. He was just there at a 6 p.m. meetup with higher profile people for startup companies because he had one. I overheard that he invests in real estate. He goes to the auction, got cool with him real quick. He then took me under his wing for a month, 2 months of kind of training me. Not showing me exactly how to do it, but showed me a step here, a step there, a step there. And he was smart. He didn't want to teach me too much because he knew I could become competition in the auctions. Fast forward, I vowed to myself, I will never bid against him because he was my mentor. He showed me 10% of getting my foot in the door. That was all a hustler needs, all me needed to understand how to get into the flipping game. Anyways, there was actually a funny story. Some houses he was bidding on, I was going to bid on as well. And because I had interest in them, but I didn't out of respect for him. That's for another video. But what I'm trying to tell you is that's how I got my foot in the door. Then from that and understanding how he does flips and so forth, I took that basic knowledge to an investor. The investor funded the first deal. The investor gave me $105,000, which was the first house that I bought. And then it took about $20,000 in rehab, $125,000 all in. This first house flip that I bought, when the investor came to the property, when my family came to the property, when people saw it, this kid is crazy. What did he buy? It was up to my knee trash in every single room. But in my eyes, it was gold. I was like, this is just cosmetics. This is beautiful. But I had no clue really what I was talking about. But I had experience from the car business. And I would buy an ugly car. I would repair it. I would paint it here and there. I would vacuum it. I would clean it up. I would spice up the tires, make the rims look nice. I would do basic things to make it pretty and resell it and make money. That same knowledge I took to house flipping, so I kind of had an understanding of it. Fast forward again, I made $22,000 plus net profit on my first house flip. $22,500 something dollars, $22,000 and some change on my first house flip. From there, it was history, guys. I share with you this story to motivate you, to let you know I joined with no experience, to let you know I raised $100,000 literally from thin air, just from being confident, presenting, and putting my money where my mouth was. I had $20,000. That's all I had at 18 years old. It sounds like a lot or a little, depending where you are. I should have had maybe $100,000 from all the houses I flipped and electronics I flipped, $100K plus easy, but I would spend a lot. I would buy parents gifts and family gifts, and I would enjoy myself, and I would buy myself nice stuff. So at the end, at 18 years old, I had the 20 grand. Put my money where my mouth was. The investor trusted it, pitched myself correctly, and after I made that profit, it was history. I got that investor to give me more money, more investors, I showed them my track record, and it just started to snowball from there. And that is how I bought my first house at the age of 18 years old. So there you have it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed my storytelling on how I started at 12 years old, then at 18 got into house flipping. I share this to explain to you, at 18 years old, I did it with zero experience, literally piggybacking people that I just saw that were in real estate. In fact, the guy who mentored me kicked me out after the month or two of him mentoring me because I was learning too fast. And he was afraid I was going to be competition. Little did he know I would never compete against my mentor because I respect them to the ceiling. In fact, I said every house I ever flip, I'm always going to get him a gift. That didn't last too long because he somewhat disappeared from my life. And it was funny because later on in the months in the auctions, he would see me bidding on that house and winning 1, 2, 3 houses. And I can tell when he looked at me, he's like, this kid is crazy. He ended up coming after a couple months, talking to me, chatting it up and stuff. But from there, it was history, guys. And that's the beauty of being hungry and wanting to make it. I ended up knowing that's what I wanted to get into, and that's what I got into. And from 18 years old till now, that's all I've been in is real estate investments, now a real estate agent, and also working to become a developer on my first development that hopefully goes my way. Anyways, guys, if you enjoy content like this, I upload 3 times every week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you got value, enjoyed my stories, enjoyed my journey and what I share with you, hit that free like button. I'd appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video, and I'm out.